Ever ponder why some of Saturday Night Live's most well-known comedians departed? Tonight, we're going to take you on an amazing journey as we investigate the true reasons behind these celebrities' departures from Saturday Night Live. You won't want to miss any of the shocking details that are disclosed in each episode, so pay close attention to the very end of this story. By the time you're done, you'll have a completely different perspective on what it takes to survive, or not survive, the SNL machine. From the show's inception to its most contentious episodes, Saturday Night Live has seen the entry and departure of numerous gifted performers, each with their own unique background. We'll walk you through the careers of some of the most well-known former Saturday Night Live cast members in this video, along with the reasons behind their departures, the drama that ensued, and the long-term effects it had on the program and their personal lives. So, take a seat back, unwind, and get ready for a close-up look at the true reasons these celebrities departed Saturday Night Live. Chevy Chase. Let's begin with Chevy Chase, one of Saturday Night Live's early big stars. Chevy Chase swiftly rose to prominence as one of the most adored characters on Weekend Update, thanks to his witty remarks and memorable quotes. He was the first cast member to leave Saturday Night Live in the second season, though, despite his early success. Chase later disclosed that his decision was motivated by a personal matter, despite the fact that many believed he left to pursue a lucrative film career, particularly after securing his big-screen role in the 1978 blockbuster film Foul Play. Years later, Chase acknowledged in an open interview that he left Saturday Night Live for a lady he genuinely loved, a choice that had nothing to do with financial goals or Hollywood deals. He described how, in spite of his resolve to pursue this relationship, he felt forced to leave the show when it became evident that the woman he loved would not move from California to New York to be with him. This recognition shows how personal obligations can frequently take precedence over career opportunities, even for a rising star like Chevy Chase. Charles Rocket. Let's now discuss Charles Rocket, whose appearance on Saturday Night Live was both thrilling and contentious. During the show's early seasons, Charles Rocket made a cameo and immediately gained recognition for his audacious comedy and distinctive imitation. But he was barely there for a few minutes, and fans were talking about his leaving. Following the fifth season of the show, Charles Rocket and series creator Lorne Michaels were fired amid a number of creative changes and cast reorganizations. Because the show's ratings had fallen and it was widely perceived as in crisis, the impact from that season was significant. Charles Rocket's use of profanity during a live television episode outro was one well-known scene from that season that perfectly encapsulated the tumultuous atmosphere of a show on the verge of collapse. The network decided to hire new management and a new cast as a result of these and other incidents. In addition to being a personal tragedy, Rocket's departure from Saturday Night Live marked a turning point in his career. He continued to pursue comedy and filmmaking, leaving a legacy of unabashed humor that continues to be popular with viewers to this day. Gilbert Gottfried, one of the most well-known characters to ever appear on Saturday Night Live, is next up. He is recognized for his unique voice and wicked sense of humor. In 1980, during the notorious sixth season of the show, Gilbert became a member of the new set of performers. He got a spot on the show because of his wild actions and distinctive ear-piercing scream, but things soon took a turn for the worst. In a well-known podcast, Gilbert talked about his problems with the authors and creative team, believing that his distinct approach was not given enough credit or an opportunity to shine. He explained how he was portrayed as a dead body in a coffin in a funeral sketch, which he believed was a metaphor for what was occurring to the entire group at the time. This was one really gruesome instance. After feeling frustrated and misunderstood, Gottfried ultimately made the decision to leave Saturday Night Live, which opened the door for a lucrative career in voice acting and comedy. Even while he subsequently acknowledged that his time on SNL was difficult, it taught him important lessons about sticking up for his artistic vision. Thus, his departure was bittersweet. Shearer, Harry. Another intriguing story of inspiration, ingenuity, and internal struggle is Harry Shearer's tenure on Saturday Night Live. Harry Shearer, well known for his work on Weekend Update and his subsequent success with The Simpsons, had a turbulent history with Saturday Night Live. Shearer soon discovered that the atmosphere was not as friendly as he had expected after being hired as a writer and performer for the 1979 to 1980 season. He referred to his experience as a living hell and asserted that the culture of the show did not suit his creative spirit. 5 years later, in the 1984-1985 season, he made a comeback to Saturday Night Live, although his tenure was characterized once more by intense annoyance. Shearer publicly attacked the show's atmosphere in interviews, acknowledging that he didn't enjoy his job, and that the creative tensions eventually got to be too much for him. He famously said, "Yeah, I was creative, and they were different," in response to a reporter's question. This illustrated how his artistic vision and the show's direction were incompatible. Harry Shearer's choice to leave Saturday Night Live was ultimately a turning point in his career, since it gave him the opportunity to pursue other artistic endeavors and eventually achieve success in his own special way. Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Julia Louis-Dreyfus's remarkable performance on Veep and Seinfeld has made her famous. Before becoming famous, she did, however, appear on Saturday Night Live for 3 seasons, which she subsequently said was not very fun. Julia has publicly acknowledged that she joined the cast at the age of 21 and that she erred in joining the show because she believed it would be a fun and encouraging environment. As a young woman working in an industry that was not very welcoming to women at the time, she instead found SNL to be a difficult place to work. Despite the challenges, she believes that her stint on Saturday Night Live helped shape her future career and provided her with insightful knowledge about the entertainment industry. One advantage of her experience was that it allowed her to collaborate with other cast members and even meet her future husband. Julia Louis-Dreyfus left Saturday Night Live in order to develop and find a position where her skills could be fully displayed. She never forgets the early lessons she learned during her brief time on the show, despite the fact that she has since developed an incredible career. Billy Crystal and Martin Short. Let's now discuss Martin Short and Billy Crystal, 2 iconic comedians who had a significant impact on Saturday Night Live. Short and Crystal both joined the troupe and immediately won over viewers during what is regarded as one of SNL's most cherished seasons. Billy Crystal's incisive humor and unforgettable impressions, along with Martin Short's energetic performances and eccentric characters, brought a new dimension to the show. But they had no intention of remaining forever. Due to their short-term contracts and the fact that they were only supposed to leave after making an impression, both were aware from the beginning that their time on SNL was limited. Martin Short has stated in interviews that he viewed Saturday Night Live as a springboard, a stage on which to demonstrate his abilities before engaging in other artistic endeavors. Billy Crystal also stated that he never had a definite date for his time on the show, but ultimately made the decision to look for other TV and movie roles. They left on their own terms, appreciative of the chance to be a part of an organization that had influenced their careers, rather than with controversy or a spectacular departure. The innumerable characters and sketches that continue to make viewers laugh today are proof of their legacy at SNL. Dennis Miller. The tale of Dennis Miller on Saturday Night Live is one of renewal and metamorphosis. Miller joined the show in its 11th season and eventually became the Weekend Update anchor. He used a fast-paced blend of sardonic humor and esoteric pop culture references to deliver his monologues. But it was evident that Miller's interests were changing as the seasons passed. Miller clarified in an interview with the Chicago Tribune that having a son had forced him to reassess his goals, both personal and professional. He began to wonder if working on the set of a weekly live sketch comedy program was viable. His desire to pursue other opportunities and prioritize his family over the show itself drove his decision to leave Saturday Night Live. Many fans were taken aback by Dennis Miller's choice to quit, but in the end, it gave him the opportunity to host his own late-night talk show. Despite the highs and lows of that endeavor, he remembers his time on Saturday Night Live with nostalgia and a sense of closure, and it continues to be a pivotal moment in his career. Robert Jr. Downey. Let's now examine the short but turbulent stint of Robert Downey Jr. on Saturday Night Live. Robert Downey Jr., who would go on to become internationally famous for his role of Iron Man, appeared on Saturday Night Live for just one season in 1985, when the show was having trouble with its ratings. The show was going through a difficult time as NBC attempted to rearrange its schedule with a new ensemble led by Lorne Michaels, so his experience wasn't ideal. The pressure of performing live on television was too much for Downey, who acknowledged in an interview that he was very young and inexperienced when he joined SNL. Later, he said that his stint on the show taught him a lot about the unpredictability of live sketch comedy. Robert Downey Jr. admits that the abilities he acquired on Saturday Night Live, SNL, contributed to his development as an actor and performer, despite his short tenure and the challenges he encountered. He was able to concentrate on other endeavors after quitting the show, which ultimately resulted in his incredible Hollywood comeback. Stiller, Ben. The story of Ben Stiller's connection with Saturday Night Live is one of unanticipated possibilities and artistic annoyance. When Ben Stiller was first cast in 1989, he thought his job would be to direct short films and cut them in with live sketches. He eventually discovered that performing live on stage once a week wasn't his style. Stiller revealed that he felt incredibly anxious when playing live, and that he didn't think he could showcase his skills on the Saturday Night Live stage in an interview with The Howard Stern Show. Despite having a brief tenure on the show, Ben Stiller soon returned as a presenter and even portrayed well-known figures, such as Michael Cohen, the former attorney for President Donald Trump, who made an appearance in 2018. He learned a lot about the realities of live television during his tenure at SNL, which also helped him launch a lucrative acting and directing career. Ben Stiller left behind a legacy of humorous adventures after leaving the school to pursue possibilities that would allow him to explore various aspects of his creative personality. Rock, Chris. Chris Rock, one of the most well-known comedians to have appear on Saturday Night Live, was a remarkable performer there due to his straightforward approach and direct political comedy. Chris Rock became well-known on Saturday Night Live in 1990 by playing characters like the insane newsman Buster Jenkins and activist Nat X. But he faced difficulties while he was employed at SNL. The question of whether the show's creative crew ever truly recognized Chris Rock's skill has been up for dispute. Others claim that the jobs he was assigned frequently prevented him from showcasing his entire range of skills and helped to reinforce preconceptions. In order to refine his skills and find a venue where his edgy humor was more appreciated, Rock left Saturday Night Live after a few seasons. Later, during the show's last season, he joined the cast of In Living Color. Chris Rock's exit from Saturday Night Live ignited a lucrative career in stand-up comedy and film, demonstrating that sometimes leaving a stage is the best way to find a new one where your genuine voice can be heard. Silverman. Sarah. Let's now discuss comedian Sarah Silverman, who is renowned for her bold humor and unique approach. Sarah only appeared on Saturday Night Live once, 1993, 1994, but it was a spectacular showing. She went on to achieve success in stand-up comedy, movies, and television, despite not having a great Saturday Night Live experience. In her 2005 interview, Sarah stated that she found the show dull and that she had trouble getting her skits performed. She later acknowledged that she learned a lot from her time on the show, which left her feeling conflicted, even though it wasn't her favorite time in her career. Sarah felt that her artistic expression was more appropriate for other pursuits where she could really shine and be herself, which is why she resigned from Saturday Night Live. She eventually established a reputation for challenging stereotypes and touching on delicate themes, a legacy that still has an impact on humor today. Sandler, Adam. Adam Sandler, whose Saturday Night Live debut is among the most talked about in the program's history, should also not be disregarded. Adam Sandler, who joined Saturday Night Live, immediately rose to prominence as one of the show's most well-liked cast members of his era, thanks to his endearing humor and eccentric personas. He did, however, ultimately abandon the program for unexpected reasons, just like many others. Adam Sandler developed close relationships with other cast members throughout his time there, and his efforts helped to create the distinctive appearance of the show. However, he did not make the decision to go easily. He and his co-workers eventually came to the conclusion that the atmosphere at SNL did not support their development as artists. Sandler claims that he left the show because he felt he needed to demonstrate his ability to handle a movie by himself and try his hand at other things. Despite his dissatisfaction with leaving the venue where he made his debut, Adam Sandler's departure opened the door for him to pursue a lucrative film career that would ultimately win him a place in the hearts of millions of fans across the globe. What do you consider to be the most unexpected reason why a performer from Saturday Night Live might leave? Do you think that the primary motivators were personal goals and inventiveness, or did we overlook something else at work? Opinions and views are very valued and contribute to the current conversation, so please feel free to express them below. Please hit the like button and subscribe for more interesting material if you liked this video and would want to see more in-depth analyses of the backstage life of your favorite shows and celebrities. We are able to deliver more captivating articles directly to your screen because of your invaluable assistance. Every great show contains untold stories, and every star's career is full with experiences that have impacted not only their careers, but also the cultural moments that we all appreciate. Please keep this in mind. I appreciate your time.